Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us on Upfront in the Prophetic. Blessed that you are here. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this message. Got a great broadcast for you today. One of our dear friends that has literally changed my life in a time that really needed to be changed, that's for sure. So today we're actually going to talk about the finest heart and health supplement in the world. That's right. And it is all about Cardio Miracle. Talk about nitric oxide and the power of this product and all the ingredients in it. Guys, write down the code now up front and you'll get a discount for this. And please note that this is not network marketing. This is a company that really wants to make a difference in your life today and all your family's life as well. So without further ado, let's get John on with us. Hey, John. John Hewlett is the founder of Cardio Miracle. And, Cardio Miracle, I love that name. And there's a reason why, John, that you named this product Cardio Miracle. Would you share for those that perhaps haven't heard the story? This is powerful.
I'll be happy to. Francine, it's delightful to see you. You're truly what a gift from God you are to the world, and I appreciate so much knowing you. But you know, I grew up in a family that had genetic heart disease issues. My father, grandfathers, aunts, uncles, everyone in our family died before their 66th birthday. Most of the men and a few of the women from heart disease, and I was kind of next on the list. And 17 years ago, I went in for an emergency appendectomy based upon some things I was doing, and my overtaxed my appendix. Went in the hospital, had multiple complications. They sent me home after the surgery, even though I was internally bleeding that they hadn't determined. And then I came back, and I had medical error after medical error. And at that point in time, I almost died like 3 times. They wanted to do quadruple bypass as soon as I stopped bleeding from the botched appendectomy. And I said, no, 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 I'm not interested. So when I limped out of the hospital, and really through prayer, cayenne pepper, and frankincense essential oils, my internal bleeding stopped from the nicked vein. So that was a miracle. Yes. And then I went on a quest. I had had a very successful financial and insurance investment career, one of the top in the country, and had been blessed substantially. But when your health is compromised, it doesn't matter how successful you are. You need to be able to live, to take care of your wife and I have 18 grandchildren, a lot of people who depend on me. And so I went on a search to find a natural solution to heart disease instead of having quadruple bypass. And I found it in the science of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1998. There's been over 200,000 published studies and articles on the benefits of nitric oxide. And so I started taking a nitric oxide supplement, and lo and behold, within a few months, my blood pressure was normal. My triglycerides were better. I'd been concerned about a fatty liver because I'm a bit portly for my weight, and hadn't exercised very much, and was kind of a workaholic. And I've always cared about our country. I've always cared about charity and humanitarian things, and I'd always tried to do my part with, even though I was making a 7-figure income in the 90s. So I always tried to do my part, but I always wanted to be really a philanthropist. I wanted to be able to really make a difference. And so when I found a nitric oxide supplement that I could essentially drink in a glass, and all of a sudden all these great things happened, I decided to leave my insurance business and become an advocate for nitric oxide. And so I spent 6 years with a great company and introduced the nitric oxide science to millions of people all over the world, elevated that company to heights they had never been before. And I was just a distributor. It was actually a direct sales MLM, which I never dreamed I would be involved in, but I did. And it was great because it was sometimes the only way you get the message out is through an MLM. So that's where I found the science, and I'm grateful for that. But after 6 years, I realized that the excess commissions the commitment sometimes of the company owners to profits as opposed to wellness completely. Everyone's into wellness and then they become more profiteers. People often lose their bearings the more successful they get greedy. And so as time went on, I kept trying to tell the company how I thought they could improve their product, and they got kind of sick of me telling them what to do. And they said, can't you just be happy making $1 million a year? And I said, no, because I used to make $2.5 million a year doing something else. So it's not about the money for me, even though I became one of their top distributors. And so 10 years ago, I walked away. I walked away from a residual lifetime income of 7 figures to start my own company. Little did I know how difficult it would be. But I had talked to the smartest scientists, I'd talked to the best nutritionists, I'd talked to manufacturers, and I was relatively intelligent, even though I had no experience in this field. And so I came up with a formula. And the formula has been unbelievable. And as I started trying to think about things like CardioFlow or Vessel Alive or different names, I thought my life and my saving of my life from nitric oxide was a miracle. So literally, the Lord Spirit said to me, call it what it is. Don't mince words. Don't try to be marketing. Just call it what it is. It's a miracle. And what's a miracle? A miracle is something extraordinary that happens to us that we often do not totally understand. Well, that's really what Cardio Miracle is. We now understand more and more, but Francine, it's unbelievable. Every day, every month, we're learning more things that this amazing formula of Cardio Miracle is doing. And so I took from an MLM experience for 5-6 years that had 17 ingredients from a world-class company, and I ended up with 50 ingredients because I thought if you can open up the arteries, if you can increase the absorbability, then why not put in all of the good things that people need in one simple drink? And so, instead of people having to take, I think I figured the other day, it would take between 60 and 80 capsules to have everything that Cardio Miracle brings to the table at one time. And anyone who's really done much research knows that capsules often have about 20-25% absorbability. Cardio Miracle, according to our scientists, I think is probably 85 to 90% absorbable, if not more, because every ingredient now, numbering over 55, is bioavailable. It's plant and food based. In fact, Dr. Judy Mikovits, one of my heroes, she calls cardio. She says, John, you got to change the name. I said, I'm not changing the name, Judy. She says, no, you got to change the name to God's living water, because that's what it is. She says, John, I love you, but let me tell you, you had a God download to come up with this formula. She is a biochemist. She's arguably one of the smartest women ever to walk this earth. And she says, you're not smart enough to have put this together. This was a download from God. And so I will accept that, because I just sort of feel like I'm the Johnny Appleseed of nitric oxide that was chosen and willing to fight this fight. So at 62, I started over from scratch and developed Cardio Miracle. And the last 10 years have been unreal. And to meet the people, and today we now have the best, the brightest, the most credible patriots, religious leaders, scientists, nutritionists, athletes, even politicians that are jumping on board that Cardio Miracle is the true miracle of cardiovascular, diabetic, immune building, pandemic avoiding nutritional supplementation that's available in the world today. And the miracles pile in every day. And it's so rewarding. I get emails every day. I get texts every day from people thanking me for giving them their life back and giving their parents life back and getting their parents off of supplemental oxygen, getting their diabetic numbers better, getting their kidney numbers better, and saving them. I mean, even had one of the top pastors in America texted me the other day, and I can't get into specifics because we're not supposed to make medical claims, even though we have 3 published scientific papers. So we have the science. and we're actually working now on getting a few of the clinicals. But I didn't care about clinicals. I cared about the science. And then when I've heard from tens of thousands of people the daily miracles they're having, that's good enough for me. It's the testimonies of the Spirit, the testimonies of committed people that really matter to other people. And the stories are amazing. But this pastor sent me a text and he said, I had a friend who had been diagnosed with total heart failure, and his percentage was almost down to single digits. 2 months on Cardio Miracle, it had gone halfway to perfect, normal. He couldn't believe it. The person was unbelievable. He literally was probably down to his last 60 days in chronic heart failure. And now his doctors are saying, we don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. And all he's doing is drinking something twice a day that's good for you. As Judy Mikovits says, living water with over 55 natural heart plant-based ingredients. Now, people sometimes say to me, well, John, you sell 90 servings for $149. That's about $1.66, $1.70 a serving. It's kind of expensive. And I go, compared to what? I said, you pay $7 for a bad bottle of water at the airport. You pay $3, $4. I just the other day bought it's called the Liquid Protein. It's in a can. You get 16 ounces and it's $4 a can, $4. And all you get from that is 20 grams of protein. Well, one glass of Cardio Miracle on most of our sales and our new packaging that we're coming out to for people is going to be $1.50 a serving. $1.50 a serving. It's unbelievable. And it replaces about 80% of the supplements people take.
Absolutely, because you hit on so many key points here. I'll tell you, before Cardio Miracle, I had so many vitamins on my Whirlybird in the morning. And like you said, 20, 30, 40 pills, right? And, back in the day when I used to teach about nutrition, we used to say, hey guys, what you assimilate is not much. And actually, when you have I'll just be gross, bowel movement, you'll probably see some of those pills in there, right?
Exactly.
But, right. So with Cardio Miracle, guys, this was a lifesaver for me. I had called Lisa, who's a brand expert, a part of Cardio Miracle on their medical board and so forth. And I'll tell you, it was a time of COVID. My numbers for breathing oxygen level was dropping and dropping. And I said, Lisa, what do you recommend? Because she knows all what's out there and the fake stuff and everything. Just like what I told you before, John, I recommend 2 companies, and this is one of the number 1 companies. The other one was the pet one. And I don't care about anything else because I'm getting every single thing that I need out of this product. And so she said, Fran, I'm rushing you Cardio Miracle right now. And I need you to take it 4 times a day because of where you're at right now. And then you'll start to feel better. And I am telling you what, I praise the Lord. I could feel the difference immediately. It was fabulous. So I just had to have you on again, John, because I noticed that there were several other ingredients added amongst what's already in it. And I love the taste. I mean, I love
I'm glad. I'm so glad.
Yes, I love it.
Well, as you know, Francine, having been kind of a supplement and ingredient guru, these ingredients, the reason they're in a capsule is for a couple of reasons. One, it's less expensive. So it's more profitable for the company to put in 500 milligrams in a product. Each scoop of Cardio Miracle is over 10 grams of organic plant-based ingredients, over 55 of them, instead of 500 milligrams. I kind of laugh because most supplements you're going to get, they say take 2 capsules, you get 60 capsules for $49. So you're paying like 50 cents a capsule.
Right.
And it would take 40 or 50 capsules to equal Cardio Miracle. So it would cost $20 a serving if you took them in capsule form. So I laugh when people say, well, it's kind of expensive. And I said, you haven't done the